This is my movie review of The Human Centipede. I watched it. I heard the hype about it. I was excited. I was a little bit scared. I was thinking it would be, up there with Cannibal Holocaust or The Pink Flamingo, which, the shit scene. God, that was gross. Anywho, so I hear about this movie from CNN. Now, I'm kind of big into intellectually disturbing movies. It's something I really like watching, and not in like a weirdo way, kind of a weirdo way, but not really. In a way of where like you look at those and then you find something intellectual to discuss. For example, Clockwork Orange. What would it be like if teenagers ran the world? How would that be different today if they continued to run? Who is the one that checks them? And who is the one that checks them? I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with that movie. I digress. 100 Days of Sorrow. Made it through the first 15 minutes of the movie. I had to step back. I'll finish it another day. I don't think I was mentally ready for that one. It's not so much as blood and gore, but just the things, that you do to people without killing them. I mean, it's like, how far can you go without physically killing something? And then let's take it to the level of where we physically keep you alive, but we kill the brain. How do you kill a brain without, some sort of car accident or trauma or whatever? So anyways, this led me to hearing about Human Centipede on CNN, which, to me, based off of the other European ones, and this isn't technically European, but other European disturbing movies, if it's on CNN, it can't be that bad. One of those things. Oh, let me check it out. So I called up my friend, my guru. He's the guru of comics and the guru of movies. So he said, yeah, you heard about it too. He said, he really wants to watch it. He told me to watch the pictures and the preview before I did that. So I said, okay. So I watched pictures and the preview. So he decided to come over with me and my boyfriend. We were going to watch this movie. My boyfriend pussed out. He'll tell you he didn't, but he pussed out. He tried to, at least. But I got him back in because I'm an American. So we turned this movie on, and you don't see very much blood, which is surprising. The entire movie, you don't see very much blood. Maybe a few drops here, a few drops there, but really nothing substantial. Nothing enough to where you would call it gory. Big difference between gory and disturbing. After watching this movie, I make my way through this movie, my face is kind of stuck in shock the whole time. I finish the movie, and it is exactly what the movie Human Centipede. This man made a human centipede. Now, other than the numerous other things in the movie that make it disturbing, I don't want to ruin it for you, so I won't bring too much of it up. But the fact that somebody would make a human centipede is scary, but the freaky part, the disturbing part, is that is medically sound. You actually could turn 3 people into a human centipede, and they could survive and thrive off of that. Now, diagram. With my fingers, not anything special. Diagram. 3 people. 3 people. Crazy German doctor. They're over in Germany. And side note, and I'll get to it, I thought this was a European movie because the United States is so far behind movies like this. I mean, they just don't, dealing with sexuality and things like that, they just don't do it here. So anywho, German guy, filmed in Germany, on an American's budget. Really, renowned surgeon, separates Siamese twins, separates them, that's his thing, he's the best in the world, but he has this weird fetish where he likes to put them back together. Yes. So he finds these people. I'm not going to tell you how he found them, but he turns them, and I'll leave the details out because that's the part that you want to see. But he turns these 3 people into a human centipede. How does that happen? Let me tell you. This man takes one man, who will obviously be the front. There's got to be a front, a middle, and an end. So he takes one man, and one man is the front. And he cuts his knees so that his knees can't stand up. So they're always on a, kneeling position. So you can't stand your knees up even if you wanted to. Then he does the same to the person behind him, and the same to the person behind him. So for all intents and purposes, you look at this, you just think it's 4 people doggy style on the ground, but in a non-sexual way, you know what I mean? Just like they're playing a game. Well, he takes the face and he cuts out these huge flaps of skin right there. Just huge flaps of skin. So almost like an extended sunshine mouth, kind of like if the Joker kept going, it was a big old... Gets rid of that skin. So you got open space here, you can see the teeth and everything. He then, this will get graphic, he will peel the skin around the anus, peel it out. So the anus is here, and the skin peels out. And then the skin of the anus becomes attached to the face of the person behind him. Right here where my mouth is a new digestional tract that comes out of my mouth, back into my mouth, all the way through me, out my butt, and into the mouth of the person that is attached to me. So one guy, I'm attached to his ass, she's attached to my ass, she shits it out on the end. So if he eats something, he shits into my mouth, I eat it, I shit into her mouth, she shits it out. We're all fed, all nutrients. Human centipede. Human centipede. What would you do? And I think the intellectual side was, because it took me and my comic and movie god a minute, but what can be done in the name of science? What is too far? Who are those that determine that this is in the name of science and this is in the name of medicine? And then who determines what they determine? It just goes back to like who watches who watches who watches who, and who watches them. Like that, I don't want to do all that. But you kind of know, do you kind of guess my concept? How much can you do in the name of science? And if you know this is medically sound, obviously it's been done somewhere before, or even thought about it. And that's even a little bit more scary. If it hasn't been done, somebody's been contemplating this, and not just the guy, and not just the guy in the movie, if you know what I mean. So, that's my review of Human Centipede. Make your own choice. It is something that you put in the category of things you can't ever unsee. I am glad I watched it. I don't recommend it for anybody else. I recommend people look at the preview, which you can Google and find that. Also, it is on demand. It's like $7 though. But it's on demand. You can find the preview online. You can find the preview even in YouTube probably. But watch that, see some still shots, see if you think that that's what you want to do. Very stimulating. So, anywho, that's my review of A Human Centipede, the movie about a human centipede. Literally.